Here's your KNDY updated weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Highs level off around 83. Winds out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thunderstorms likely. Tonight, lows dip down to about 69. Cloudy skies expected. I'm staff meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki. Right now, it's 79 degrees.
Mid-America Network News. Farmers and conservationists are raising the alarm to federal lawmakers that more work needs to be done in combating the drought across the heartland, particularly in western Kansas. Senators Roger Marshall and Michael Bennet from Colorado met with water experts and ag producers at a special Senate hearing in Colorado. We've shared this drought. Many parts of my state and your state are a year's worth of moisture behind, said Marshall. Producers are often told that they need to continue to irrigate the crop until an adjuster can visit the site in person and confirm that the crop is no longer viable. Invasive species claim new territory in Kansas waters. Wildlife experts are monitoring the advance of 2 invasive species in northeast Kansas, and they're urging locals to help stop them from spreading further. To help stop the zebra mussels and white perch from spreading, be sure to clean anything that comes in contact with the water, including your boat. I'm Stephanie Austin.
When you're a U.S. veteran or service member, you're 40% more likely to lose money to fraud than civilians. Scam artists use fake veterans charities, service benefit buyout schemes, bogus job scams, the pandemic, and more. That's why AARP's Veterans Fraud Center and Operation Protect Veterans provides free research and advice on the latest scams targeting veterans and military families. Protect yourself and your family. AARP, on a mission to support veterans. Go to aarp.org/vetsfraudcenter today. Whether you're looking to expand your agriculture holdings and investments or for a place to build your forever home, take a look at the 160 acres ideally located in northeastern Kingman County. This property is located just 1/2 mile from paved road and 1 mile from State Highway 14. Currently planted to wheat, this tract will be open for you to receive immediate possession upon closing. Auction will be held Thursday, June 27th at 6 p.m. at the Kingman Expo Center in Kingman, Kansas. Another great auction brought to you by Floyd Auction and Real Estate. Call 620-532-1887 or visit floydsells.com for more information.
A committee of Kansas legislature opened an inquiry into the Kelly administration's replacement of one of 3 Medicaid contractors with a Blue Cross and Blue Shield entity linked to the disgraced company that stiffed Kansas healthcare providers for millions of dollars when forced out of the program in 2018. Representative Susan Concannon said, "I cannot imagine why on earth Amerigroup would ever be considered to be brought back in." Representative Barbara Ballard said that her constituents were concerned that Healthy Blue was affiliated with a company that did not have a good reputation. She asked, "Did you totally disregard past performance?" The 10th annual Garden City Charity Classic is underway at Buffalo Dunes Golf Course. It's the region's only professional women's golf tournament. The event runs through Sunday, June 30th, and Dream First Bank is the title sponsor. If you'd like to be a spectator or you'd like to just help out, contact the Finney.
As a business owner, you work hard to make a profit. Earning a living and supporting your family is always on your mind. At Blue Valley Insurance, we can help you lower your business expenses by finding the right insurance coverage at the best rate to protect your investments. Our agents have many years of experience handling all types of insurance policies, including commercial insurance. We have offices in Lynn, Greenleaf, Hanover, and Marysville. Put us to work for you. Blue Valley Insurance.
Nebraska Mid-America Network News, I am Felix Johnson. Months after 17-year-old Beaver Valley Park employee Zachary Panther has passed away, and still there is not an autopsy report. The farm is owned by Governor Jim Pillen, as Panther was found unresponsive on April 1st. Panther was a new employee, and Sarah Pillen, the governor's daughter, confirmed his death the next day as the operator of the business. An autopsy was ordered by the county attorney, and the Occupational Safety and Health Administration launched an investigation the following week. An employee with the Boone County Attorney's Office estimated that the completed report would be ready within 6 to to 8 weeks after the autopsy. But with most of June already passed, the report still isn't available. Boone County Attorney John Morgan said that the lab results for the autopsy report have not been completed as of Tuesday of this week. He also noted that the medical matters have complicated the staffing in his office. Morgan, though, did not provide a timeline on when the report would be completed. Nebraska Mid-American Network News.
Rusty Eck Ford and local area charities are teaming up for a trade-in sales event. Bring a new or gently used bike to Rusty Eck Ford and receive up to $2,000 off a brand new Ford. We will donate all bikes to local charities. It's as simple as donate a new or gently used bike. Receive up to $2,000 off any new Ford on the lot. We donate all working bikes to local charities in the Wichita area. Choose from over 200 new Fords like this 2023 Ford F-150. 1.9% APR for 72 months. $1,471 per thousand financed. Or 2023 Ford Escape plug-in hybrid. 0% APR for 60 months. $1,667 per thousand financed. Or a 2023 Mach-E. 0% APR for 72 months. $1,389 per thousand financed. Visit Rusty Eck Ford or rustyeckford.com today. Plus taxes and fees. Offers can be combined with approved credit. Must finance with Ford Motor Credit.
Reporting local news, I'm Bruce Dierking. Marysville City Council met Monday and considered again a request from a steam association in Ottawa interested in acquiring the UP locomotive in the city park and moving it. An offer was also heard from the Central Branch Railroad from Waterville, urging it remain in Marshall County. Results of an online survey showed some 80% of nearly 400 replies indicated a significant level of importance of a steam engine to the community, with over half indicating it should remain in the city park, and nearly half were in favor of keeping it at least within Marshall County. Several comments were heard that leaving it without improvements would be doing a disservice. Consensus was to continue the conversation through the Parks and Recreation Committee with an eye on identifying future improvements or potential. Council approved adding a number of stop signs at various intersections as recommended by the police chief after review by the Police and Fire Committee. Stop signs will be added on North 13th Street at Carolina for north-south traffic near St. Gregory Catholic Church, as well as stop signs on Broadway at 4th and 14th Streets for traffic east and westbound. A four-way stop was also approved at 15th and Laramie near Dargets Park with a crosswalk, and four-way stop at 14th and Calhoun, a block west and south. The Kester House Museum Foundation Board requested consideration in granting ownership of property on the Kester block outside the Broadway-facing commercial buildings, which are to be developed through Frontier Group, to be funded through a potential $100,000 rural state grant. That area would include the 1904 South Kester House, which was formerly a restaurant, and open space on the southwest corner. That would be slated for development through Frontier in order to generate funding to assist financially with museum operations. Mayor Todd Fry guided a conversation that it would be difficult to dismiss a request for a proposal, which council recently entered. The city administrator said the council had the option to shorten the time frame for proposals, which are currently due August 26th. Some council members balked at the idea of changing the RFP, but appeared in favor of the Kester Museum Foundation proposal. The decision was compounded by a July 1st submission date for the grant. Consensus was to pursue the grant with the provision that council consider the offer with any other proposals that might come forward. Later in the meeting on a related matter, terms negotiated with Frontier Group were for a 100-year lease for the Broadway-facing commercial buildings with a buyout option at 39.5 years, a $10,000 initial payment, and annual $1,000 payments to the city with a review every 5 years. The agreement further would call for establishing a reinvestment housing incentive district for the buildings involved to incentivize development of housing on second and third stories. Mayor Todd Fry was not impressed with the initial $10,000 payment, but some council members urged approval while the interest level is high. The lease purchase option was approved unanimously and a letter of intent was approved for the project. Council set rental at $375 per month for lease of Broadway's A Cut Above space on the Kester block, that business closing due to the retirement of Pam Wecker. Options were presented for financing storm sewer improvements on 15th Street to Center, then a block south on 14th Street, a 20-year, $2 million total payout bond issue, would need to be approved by Marysville City voters at the November general election. An alternate consideration is a 10-year lease purchase financed through the three Marysville banks at a cost of $1.3 million at a 5.5% interest rate. The mayor spoke of a continuing transparent funding mechanism that could address not only this immediate need, but other locations at future dates. The city administrator was instructed to negotiate rates and terms with the local banks involved. A resolution for condemnation of a property at 904 May Street was approved. Fireworks may be sold in the city beginning June 27 and used 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. through July 5th, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. June 28th and 29th, as well as July 5th, with hours July 4th from 10 a.m. until midnight. Those wishing to address council and be listed on the agenda should contact City Hall no later than noon Wednesday preceding the meetings, the second and fourth Monday each month. Thursday is registration deadline for a floral design workshop in Washington coming up Monday. River Valley Extension District is featuring the program, which will share the ins and outs of bouquet design. Participants will create a florist quality display of locally grown flowers to take home, with stems, sips, and snacks provided for a $40 registration fee. Space is limited. Please contact the River Valley Extension District office at Washington, 785-325-2121 for more information. Again, the program Monday evening, July 1st at 6 p.m. at the KSDS East Training Building in Washington, with a second workshop a week later, July 8th in Clay Center. Marshall County Community Band Summer Concert Series continues Thursday evening, 7:30 at the Kester House Gardens in Marysville. The band will not perform Thursday, July 4th, but will be back July 11th and 18th. Waterville Fireworks will not be July 3rd this year due to youth baseball tournaments, but will be a week early Friday, June 28th at Lipton Ball Field with a chicken dinner at 5 and fireworks at 10. Kids are encouraged to join the Marysville Public Library for an illustration workshop Saturday. Additional details are available at the library. Marshall County Arts Cooperative will host Senior Saturday at the Arts Center, a complimentary breakfast 8 to 10 a.m. for those 60 and older, highlighting a vintage lawn and garden display showing at the Arts Center this month. Odell Community Day is Saturday, June 29th, with a variety of activities planned. Laverne M. Meyer, age 94, of Lanham, passed away June 23rd. Funeral service is planned Friday, 10 a.m. at Our Savior Lutheran Church, Odell. Interment in the Odell Cemetery. Visitation Thursday from 1 until 8. Family will greet friends Thursday from 6 until 7:30 at the church, with the Griffith Huvendick Chapel in charge of arrangements for Laverne Meyer. Shirley M. Trulick, age 95, of Marysville, passed away Tuesday. Funeral service Saturday, 10 a.m. at Kinsley Mortuary in Marysville. Burial in the Maplewood Cemetery. Visitation Friday, 1 until 9. Family will receive friends Friday from 5 until 7 at Kinsley Mortuary of Marysville in charge of arrangements for Shirley Trulicka. Donald J. Butch Rippenkroger, age 84, of Marysville, passed away June 19th. A graveside service is planned Monday, July 8th, 10 a.m. at the Marysville City Cemetery, with Kinsley's in charge of arrangements for Donald Butch Rippenkroger.
Don't have time to stop by a bank to open an account? No problem. With United Bank and Trust, we make it easy by bringing our bank to you. Whether you're at home, at work, or anywhere you have access to a computer, simply go to ubankonline.com and click on the Open an Account icon. Save time by opening an account online with United Bank and Trust. It's banking for your way of life. Member FDIC.
Re-elect Angela Heckey, 22nd Judicial District Magistrate Judge, serving you and the citizens of Marshall County the past 19 years with a lifetime of education and experience.
I would appreciate your vote in the upcoming primary, August 6th.
Here's your KNDY weatherology forecast for northeast Kansas and southeast Nebraska. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible today, otherwise partly sunny with our highs in lower to upper 80s. Southeast winds between 5 and 15 and gusting as high as 25. Scattered showers and thunderstorms continue overnight, mostly cloudy with our lows in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Showers and thunderstorms are possible on a Friday, otherwise sunny with our highs in the upper 80s and upper 90s. South winds between 10 and 15 and gusting as high as 25. Some scattered showers possible on a Friday night, partly cloudy with our lows in the mid-60s and lower 70s. Some scattered showers early Saturday, then staying sunny with our highs in the lower to upper 80s. And staying mostly clear throughout Saturday night with our lows in the upper 50s and mid-60s. Some scattered showers are possible early on Sunday, otherwise sunny with our highs in the lower to mid-80s. Then showers and thunderstorms continue into Sunday night, partly cloudy with our lows in the lower to upper 60s. Scattered showers still continue into Monday, otherwise sunny with our highs in the lower 90s and lower 100s. And scattered showers still continue Monday night with our lows in the lower to upper 70s. I'm meteorologist Kara Foster.
Average high temperature late June, 89. Record high on this date, 109. The average low, 67, and the record low, 46. Sunset this evening, 8:58. Sunrise in the morning at 6:03.
As strawberry season draws to a close, we will share some tips on making a bumper harvest last just a little bit longer. It's all about strawberry storage today from the Old Farmer's Almanac.
Have you ever tried to buy gold and silver and felt like you were talking to a used car salesman? That's because the precious metals industry is like the Wild West. Salesmen can say pretty much anything or make any promise they want without repercussion. But Genesis Gold Group is different. They're a faith-driven Christian precious metals company and believe in educating their customers, not pressuring them for a quick sale. Genesis Gold Group focuses on customer service, not sleazy marketing. Genesis Gold Group is named after the first book of the Bible for a reason. Proper stewardship of wealth is their specialty. Find out why they've earned a 5 out of 5 rating through the Better Business Bureau and how they can help you secure your wealth or retirement through physical precious metals. Call right now to learn more.
800-603-5815. 800-603-5815. 800-603-5815. That's 800-603-5815.
With more practical tips and useful advice, this is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report for Thursday, June 27th, the 179th day of the year. Author and activist Helen Keller was born on this day in 1880, and in 1985, Route 66 was decommissioned as a U.S. highway. If you've somehow resisted eating all your newly harvested strawberries, here's a few tips for keeping them in good shape for enjoying later. Wash as you go is the most important rule. Strawberries soak up water like sponges, making them mushy and shortening their shelf life. Wash them only just before eating. Rule number 2 is leave the stems on. Pulling or cutting the stem makes them prone to spoilage. And thirdly, when storing in the refrigerator, use the crisper drawer. Keep them in a ventilated container lined with a paper towel to absorb excess moisture. And that is the Old Farmer's Almanac Radio Report. Have a question for the Old Farmer? Ask it at almanac.com.
At Reflections, you will find a treasure trove of items and gifts backed by a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Shop your Hallmark Gold Crown store for the biggest selection in greeting cards, Christmas ornaments, gift wrap, home decor, and gift ideas for all your celebration and personal needs. In addition, Reflections offers custom framing services and specialized Black Squirrel products, along with your favorite K-State and KU fan gear. Shop Reflections in downtown Marysville today.
Kansas Mid-America Network Sports. I'm Andy Hoosier. Basketball season is coming up later on this year, obviously, as the bracket has now been officially released for the basketball tournament's Wichita Regional, featuring 8 teams that primarily consist of alumni from certain schools in the Mid-America region. In total, KSN News reports that 64 teams participate in the tournament, with the grand prize coming in of $1 million. The Wichita region consists of the Wichita State Aftershocks, the Purple Rain, alumni from Kansas State University, Mass Street, that includes alum from Kansas, Team Colorado, and Ramp Up from Colorado State, and others. The tournament is the 5th year in a row that Wichita has hosted the region for the basketball tournament, with 3 teams, including Florida TNT, the LA Cheaters, and the Midtown Prestige, that do not have any affiliation with any specific school, with game number 1 of the tournament kicking off on July 8th at noon, as the Wichita Aftershocks will start the tournament with the matchup against the Midtown Prestige at American Network Sports.
Get ready for a night of nonstop laughs with the hilarious Mike Epps. Live on July 26th at First Council Resort and Casino.
I got a cousin, she's 700 pounds. She called me crying the other day. I said, what's wrong? They snatching women in the neighborhood. I said, what are you worried about?
Don't miss your chance to see Mike Epps up close and personal. Tickets available now at Ticketstorm.com.
Me and LaQuisha went to...
Hurry, tickets are selling fast. That's Ticketstorm.com.
Professional excavators and homeowners, safety always comes first, and safe digging is no accident. So before you begin your next digging project, remember to call Kansas 811 to have your underground utility lines marked for free. Know what's below. Call 811 before you dig. So play it safe. Put down the shovel, pick up the phone, and call 811 first. This message is brought to you by Kansas 811, reminding you that no matter if your digging project is big or small, don't make a judgment call. Always call 811 before you dig.
The Kansas State Wildcats girls basketball team says that they are excited for the upcoming fall season after the records that they shattered last season in the 2023-24 year. As KSNC News reports, the Wildcats women's team ended up reaching number 2 on the national rankings, earning a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament and giving them the right to host the first 2 rounds for the first time ever. According to the leadership of the team, they say they're also excited about the upcoming season with the return of many All-Americans, including the center Ayoka Lee and the experienced backcourt of seniors, including Serena Sundell, J.L. Glenn, and Briley Glenn. At the same time, with 2 transfers currently in the mix for the Wildcats, they said that they are sending out an all-senior lineup with plans to go deep into the March Madness tournaments of 2025. In other news, the organization known as Sporting at KC has agreed to part ways with the Vice President of Player Personnel, Brian Bliss. Bliss had joined the organization back in 2016 and ran it for the last 5 years as the Technical Director and Vice President of Player Personnel.
Marysville American Legion, Post 163 Senior Legion baseball team, split a doubleheader at Sabetha Wednesday, losing the opener 10-6, winning the nightcap 14-3. Senior Legion baseball team at Holton Sunday afternoon for a doubleheader. Back home July 3rd, hosting Tri-County July 6th, hosting Sabetha, hosting Holton July 7th, and home to Concordia July 10th. Annual Shrine Bowl at Emporia's Welch Stadium this Saturday. Among participants on the East squad, Axtell's Sawyer Dieters.
Ag Buildings provide safe storage and working space for farm shops and machinery. Inline Construction offers wood or steel frame ag buildings, complete and finished to your specifications. Call today for a quote and let them get started. For ag buildings, demolition, concrete, and construction work, count on Inline Construction. Find them and see their recent projects on their Facebook page.
This is Andrew Crownover with Crownover Auto Sales in Marysville. From now until July 4th, with every car purchase, you'll receive a $50 gift certificate to Richardson Fireworks in Marysville. Happy 4th of July, and stop in or visit our website to see our huge selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, and more at Crownover Auto Sales in Marysville.
Farmers, they're the lifeblood of America. The men and women who tackle the toughest jobs to put clothes on our backs and food on our tables. They might do it quietly, but their genuine values and tireless work ethic are an inspiration to us all. Some might say farming is a thankless occupation, so that's why we're taking the time to say thanks. Farm Bureau Financial Services, protecting what matters most.
Patrick Booty in Marysville is your local agent with Marshall County, Farm Bureau Insurance, and Farm Bureau Financial Services.
The stately American elm once lined the streets of most American cities. Dutch elm disease wiped out as many as 9 out of 10 of these trees since the 1930s. This loss taught us the importance of diversity in landscape design and street tree plantings. There is, however, good news for those that miss the American elm. Hi, I'm Melinda Myers, horticulturist and gardening expert. Scientists found that some of the surviving older American elms have been tested and appear to be resistant to Dutch elm disease. These have led to new introductions of disease-resistant American elms. Prairie Expedition was one, propagated from a lone survivor in a stand of American elms killed by Dutch elm disease. It has the typical umbrella shape and grows 60 feet tall and 40 feet wide. The lustrous green leaves turn yellow in fall. Hardy in zones 3 to 9, it thrives in full sun and moist, rich soil. Check out our website for this and other gardening tips.
Along Interstate 80 in north central Nevada, you'll come to a town with a unique name. A name that may have you wondering exactly where it comes from. When you dig a little deeper, you'll find an interesting piece of history tied to those who lived here. The story is this edition of the American Countryside.
I'm
I'm Tyne Morgan, host of U.S. Farm Report, the only weekend television show that features some of agriculture's biggest names. From custom commentary from John Phipps to the stories of antique iron with Machinery Pete to a list of more than 30 marketing analysts, our weekly program focuses on the topics that matter most to you. We invite you to join us each weekend for U.S. Farm Report, timely, trusted tradition.
Hi, I'm Ag Day host Clinton Griffiths, and I invite you to join me each morning as we cover the nation's food system, from fields of green to orchards of orange and livestock everywhere in between. America runs on agriculture, and here at Ag Day, agriculture is what we do best. Listen as our analysts track the markets, learn about innovations in technology and sustainability, and live the country lifestyle through the eyes of rural America. Join me, Clinton Griffiths, for Ag Day, the country experience.
If you head east out of Reno and drive about 150 miles up Interstate 80, you'll come to the town of Winnemucca. It's a unique name that leads many to ask, what or who is it?
Winnemucca came from Old Chief Winnemucca. He was here when the first white folks came through, and they saw him there with one shoe on. So Winnemucca really means one moccasin.
The settlement of the area was something the chief had expected.
He told his folks that there would be the white brothers coming through, and his premonitions came true not long after that.
But as Dana Toth explains, the chief did not have a written language, and thus his name had no spelling, which meant the first pioneers settling here had to do one thing before actually naming the town.
They sat down and phonetically figured out a way to spell Winnemucca.
And so the spelling we have today was felt to best represent the way the chief said his name. Today, the Humboldt Museum here has many artifacts associated with Winnemucca and the Native Americans of the area. The chief's daughter, Sarah, was also an important figure in the early years of the town.
Old Chief Winnemucca got to live to an old age, and he ended up passing away of natural causes. Sarah Winnemucca, same thing, but she lived a wild life. She was incredible. She wrote the first book in English by a Native American. She went to Washington, D.C. and advocated for rights for reservation improvements. She worked with the cavalry, so she was very impactful, though. But we have her in records here getting into fights and, probably sticking up for herself.
In fact, you'll find displays about Sarah Winnemucca as well, an important figure in Native American history from the beginning of the 20th century, yet someone who many do not know until they begin to hear the story of her and her father here, traveling the countryside in Winnemucca, Nevada. I'm Andrew McCrae.
There will be a household and collectible auction for the Hammett family and the Liz O'Connell Trust. Saturday, June 29th. Sale begins 10 a.m. at the Helvering Center in Marysville. Selling antiques for the Hammett family, including 2 4-foot cast iron horse troughs, Crocs, including Red Wing, fancy glassware, including pink depression, blue, pink satin, and Victorian art glass. Furniture items include a wood dining table with 6 chairs, 4-piece bedroom set, 2 18-foot GE refrigerators, they're older, 2-gallon water cooler. Selling for the O'Connell Trust, antiques including a walnut dresser and washstand, oak dresser with mirror, oak chest of drawers, oak drop front secretary, lots of fancy dishes and glassware. Household items include queen, full and twin-size beds, 2 recliners, chest of drawers, and miscellaneous. This household and collectible auction, Saturday, June 29th. Sale begins 10 a.m. at the Helvering Center in Marysville. Olmsted and Sandstrom will be the auctioneers.
A big green caterpillar might be dining in your tomato plants and causing a lot of damage. Hi, I'm Jody Henke. Hornworms can be very destructive, but are fortunately easy to control as you're living the country life.
Living the country life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic and from previous shows by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com. We'll return to the show after these messages.
Successful Farming presents the 15 Minutes with a Farmer podcast. In each episode, a successful farming editor has a quick conversation with a farmer, chock full of stories and advice from their area of agriculture. They're interesting, educational, and perfect for your busy schedule. Search for 15 Minutes with a Farmer wherever you download your podcasts.
We could try to explain what it feels like to get your work done on a John Deere.
The way a Z-Track mower finishes in half the time you thought it would. Or how much easier it is to move mountains of soil with the 1 Series tractor. We could even go into detail about how it feels to tow up to 4,000 pounds behind a Gator XUV. But if you really want to know what it's like to run with us, you just have to get in the seat. Learn more at johndeere.com/get-in-the-seat or visit a dealer near you.
If something is munching on your tomato plants, it might be a tomato hornworm. Hornworms are large green caterpillars with a horn-like tail that gives them their name. They can grow up to 4 inches in length, have voracious appetites, and will eat everything on the plant but the stem. But if there are enough caterpillars, they'll eat the stems too. Rick Weinzierl is an extension entomology specialist at the University of Illinois. He says hornworms can appear in your tomato plants at any time.
The moths fly in early to midsummer, but the time that a moth comes out of the pupa and starts to lay eggs for that single species and that single generation is spread over quite a bit of time. So you will see the first hornworm damage with a little hornworm, and 6 weeks later you may see yet some more little hornworms. It's not a new generation, it's just they're spread out. They don't all come out at one time.
Hornworms are easy enough to see that you can pick them off by hand and toss them into a bucket of soapy water to kill them. But if you have a lot of tomato plants, you may need chemical control. Don't wait until the critter is 4 inches long. Weinzierl says as soon as you notice defoliation and know the caterpillar is your culprit, start your treatment.
This is the easiest insect in the world to control with all the BT products, the Bacillus thuringiensis ones. Whether you are an organic grower or not, you probably would choose it because it will not directly kill any of the parasites. It won't kill the predators of aphids. It won't do other bad things. So use an insecticide that kills who you're after, but not everybody else.
Lady beetles and green lacewings are natural enemies of the critter and often prey upon the egg stage and on young caterpillars. Learn more about tomato hornworms at livingthecountrylife.com. I'll see you in the country.
Living the Country Life. Ideas and inspiration for your place in the country. You can find more information on today's topic, share your tips, and post photos by visiting us online at livingthecountrylife.com.
The Bible says we can't please God without one specific thing. Hi, I'm Rob West with the Faith and Finance Minute. If you're wondering what that is, it's faith. Hebrews 11:6 reads, "Without faith it is impossible to please him. For whoever would draw near to God must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who seek him." God is pleased when we live our lives by faith in him, trusting in him to meet all our needs. That means not putting our faith in savings accounts or investments or anything else. So when your financial plans aren't working out, when you're afraid to give to the Lord's work, when you fear the future, honor God by having faith. Know that God works all things together for good for those who love him and believe in him. Manage your finances wisely with the easy-to-use FaithFi app. Download FaithFi, Faith and Finance from your app store or learn more at faithfi.com.
Leah's Jewelry urges anyone who has experienced trauma and may have signs of PTSD, including sleeplessness, anger, or flashbacks, to contact a healthcare professional. There is never a reason to suffer alone. From your friends at Leah's Jewelry in Beatrice, a tradition of excellence and family-owned since 1953.
Some tips for heat stress prevention in cattle today on Farm to Fork. If you're ready to try a highly effective microbial soil inoculant, then Rhizol from ProGrow Bio should be your first choice. Rhizol offers multiple benefits like enhanced biomass, bigger yields, and improved soil health. 100% organic and works with conventional or organic crops and comes in a soluble dry form for easy handling and long shelf life. Search the web for RHIZOL from ProGrow Bio.
Hey there, it's Mike Rowe, and if you're out there getting dirty, do me a favor and remember to call or click 811 before you dig. And when I say dig, I refer to any activity requiring boring, tilling, drilling, probing, reaming, plowing, drudging, or even scoping. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811 so that you can avoid all those buried pipes, wires, and cables underground. To sum up, call or click 811 before you dig and visit safeexcavator.com for more information.
Summertime heat can be a challenge for pastured cattle. Kansas State University Extension veterinarian A.J. Tarpoff.
Cattle don't lay down as much, especially whenever they get heat stress. They're trying to increase airflow. Unfortunately, that might lead to bunching, where groups of cattle, even in a pasture, will bunch up together. They're trying to get increased airflow, but they end up using each other as shade, which is kind of counterproductive.
Tarpoff says there are 4 parameters for measuring heat stress: temperature, humidity, wind speed, and solar radiation. He offers a 2-pronged solution for managing heat stress in cattle.
Water availability for those animals is absolutely critical when the temperatures start to rise. Increasing water tank capacity. Either we can split pens and increase water tank capacity that way, or even put some portable tubs into those pens to increase the water availability whenever those animals need it. Number 2 is feeding. We might be able to modify our feeding times to be able to help alleviate some of these stressors. So as they digest those feedstuffs, they actually increase the amount of heat that they produce. So what we can try to do is change our feeding times, or even adapt some of our feeding management.
There's a link to a longer discussion with A.J. Tarpoff about heat stress on the show info page at NorthshoreProductions.com. That's Farm to Fork. I'm Daryl Anderson.
Good Thursday. Sam Speck with your latest harvest update here on the Mid-America Ag Network. Your 2024 summer harvest reports are brought to you by Midwest Ag Professionals. Don't gamble with your crops. Get your crop insurance today. Call 620-357-6390. We will start in the Lone Star State, as according to the Texas Crop and Weather Report, wheat harvested wrapped up in the west central Texas by mid-June. Wheat showed poor test weights, and oats were not looking good in the central region. The wheat harvest in the South Plains is mostly complete. Texas A&M AgriLife agronomists estimated that some fields were likely harvested 2 weeks later than average because there were fewer combines in the region. The Rolling Plains region should complete wheat harvest this week or early next week. Wheat harvest is continuing in the Panhandle with above average yields in most areas. Protein levels and test weights have been highly variable. Winter wheat was also being harvested in the North region with lower test weights and limited sprout. According to the report, winter wheat harvested for the state has reached 74%, up 11 points from the previous week and 2 points above normal. Now to Oklahoma, as most test weights are ranging from 60 to 61 pounds per bushel across the state. Proteins are ranging from 9 to 13.5%. As of today, yields are being reported about 40 to 50 bushels per acre in most regions. The Oklahoma Wheat Commission is calling the state 98% complete with harvest. Now here in Kansas, we spoke with Kansas Wheat about the Burning family near Scott City in Scott County. This year is one of their better harvests.
Starting a week ahead of normal, their yields have been highly variable, with their harvested wheat exceeding 70 bushels per acre on dry land. However, with the dry spring conditions, they abandoned just under half of their wheat, which was all continuous behind corn. Proteins for the Burnings have ranged anywhere from 14 to 15.5% on their wheat, with test weights above 62 pounds per bushel. We make sure to incorporate T158 every year, Burning said. It's Dad's favorite variety, so we make sure to put it on the ground every fall. It seems we just got lucky this year, he said. If you go less than 25 miles north, guys are cutting completely different yields.
It was also stated that they're hoping to wrap up harvest today, just in time to enjoy the next week's holiday weekend. Your 2024 summer harvest reports here on the Mid-America Ag Network are brought to you by Abilene Machine. For agricultural replacement parts at your fingertips, go to AbileneMachine.com.
Want to know what your land or equipment is worth? This is Tyler Francis with Gene Francis & Associates and Gavel Roads Online Auctions. For 40 years, we've been connecting buyers and sellers while creating valuable experiences. Our licensed realtors and auctioneers are here to help you understand today's market and buy or sell property. To see what is for sale or to get in touch with one of our agents, check out GeneFrancis.com. Gene Francis & Associates and Gavel Roads Online Auctions. Ready, set, sold.
It's storm season, and it's never too late for crop insurance. P&B Insurance is your crop insurance specialist, giving you coverage on the farm and peace of mind. And if you don't have hell insurance now, no worries. You can be covered up to 2 hours before a storm hits. Get signed up today. Find us online at pbcropinsurance.com or call Dan and the team at 800-722-9525. P&B Insurance, where crop insurance is our only.
We're sorry, all circuits are busy now. Please try your call again later.
We all know, living in rural communities, it's difficult to rely on your cell phone reception. So don't rely on that same connection for your home internet. 5G is fine for your cell phone alone, but if you want a reliable home internet connection with the fastest symmetrical speeds, Blue Valley Technologies fiber internet service is your solution. Visit bluevalley.net/Wi-Fiber.
There are 17 essential nutrients that every plant needs. A soil test will determine just how much of a nutrient that each crop lacks, and then agronomists are able to make a recommendation as to what products are needed on a field. Nutrien Ag Solutions has agronomists that are the experts when it comes to working with farmers and making those profitable recommendations. That's today on Successful Farming.
Check out our full lineup of Successful Farming podcasts. The Successful Farming podcast goes in-depth into the topics that affect farmers and ranchers. The 15 Minutes with a Farmer podcast offers a quick conversation between an editor and a farmer. The SF Shorts podcast offers bite-sized interviews about agricultural topics. And the SF Daily podcast covers commodity markets, weather, and the big things happening in agriculture each morning. Search for Successful Farming wherever you download your podcasts. Interact with Successful Farming on social media. Like us on Facebook at Successful Farming USA and follow us on X at Successful Farm for tips, ideas, timely news, and information from our editors. Find us on Instagram at Successful_Farming and love the latest photo or video. And take a look behind the scenes with our editors on TikTok at Successful_Farming.
Nutrien Ag Solutions Senior Agronomist Mike Howell says he is seeing a lack of sulfur as a trend across U.S. fields.
One thing that we're seeing problems with these days is a lack of sulfur nutrition. Now, years ago, we had free sulfur. It came to us from the atmosphere, but the Clean Air Act cleaned up a lot of our emissions that was causing this sulfur pollutant that came in, and that was a great thing. But our crops are suffering for that now. We have to add sulfur fertilizer. Our new product is called MAP Plus MST. That's good old-fashioned MAP that most farmers are accustomed to using. It's going to provide your phosphorus, but it's got micronized sulfur technology. That's going to be really fine particles of elemental sulfur and some sulfate sulfur, two different sources of sulfur in that to provide that sulfur to the crop. Now, because it's got the elemental portion, we're not worried about losing that sulfur to leaching like we can with sulfate source. So it's going to protect that sulfur investment and make sure it's there for the crop.
It is also a matter of food security.
A lot of people like to look at our crops and how much yield you're making. We also need to look at how many calories we're producing. Everybody needs so many calories for their diet every day, and we've got to have fertilizer to convert this energy into calories for human diets.
Another trend Howell sees is in the realm of sustainability, and Nutrien Ag Solutions offers products that you can learn more about at nutrienagsolutions.com. There you will see products that don't harm or pollute the environment so that there is no damage to the land and resources now and in the years to come. I'm Lori Boyer. For more agriculture information, log on to agriculture.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Rowe. This is Blue Rapids Auto and Hardware. On June 29th, we'd like to invite you to join us for a celebration of 40 years. And thanks for all the business you provided for us through those years.
Blue Rapids Auto and Hardware is celebrating 40 wonderful years in business this Saturday, June 29th. From 10 a.m. until 3 p.m., stop in for hot dogs, cookies, kolaches, drinks, and more. 40 years is no small feat, and on Saturday, Mark and Janice would like to say thank you, because if it wasn't for you, their customers, there would be no celebration. Stop in Blue Rapids Auto and Hardware around the square in Blue Rapids this Saturday to celebrate 40 years of community support.
From Kansas State University, this is Agriculture Today. I'm Shelby Varner. An American eel was found in the Kansas River for the first time in about 10 years. K-State Fisheries and Aquatics Extension Specialist Joe Gherkin gives more details on the recent finding, as well as what these eels look like.
Recently, one was caught in the Kansas River, and historically we've known that they've been there, but some members of the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks Aquatic Invasive Species crew caught one in April, and it's the first one that's been documented in the Kansas River in about a decade. It's a cool type of fish called a catadromous fish, and catadromous fish, they go out to the ocean to spawn and reproduce, and then they drift across the ocean and swim upstream, and they grow up in freshwater systems, and they spend most of their life in a freshwater system. So American eels are long, slender fish, weigh about 3 or 4 pounds, 2 to 3 feet long. Their populations are pretty stable, but they're not really common around here.
Gherkin explains where American eels spawn and how their offspring are dispersed.
Once they reach their adult age, they decide, hey, we're going to go on a trip, and they're going to make a journey out to the Atlantic Ocean to a place called the Sargasso Sea. And that sea is where every American eel that we know about spawns. Put that in perspective, that's about 3,500 nautical miles from the Kansas River. So they grow up, they turn into adults, they decide it's their time to make the journey. They make this 3,500-mile journey to the sea. They spawn there, and then they generally die, but they leave this legacy of all these tiny little eels. And those eels get picked up by the oceanic currents, and they're just kind of along for the ride for up to a year, right? Till they end up somewhere near a continent where they can find some freshwater system, swim upstream, and do that life cycle, grow up, and then do that cycle all over again.
Dams have changed how fish migrate, but he says why those dams are important.
Dams have blocked migration of a lot of different fish. Scientists have looked at ways to combat that, and one of the things they've done is look at fish passages or fish ladders so that fish can move upstream. But a lot of the places where that could happen, we've determined that that's not the best scenario. Some of the non-native species would also be able to move upstream, mainly Asian carp. And that competition between those non-natives and the native species are one of the things that we've determined, hey, the risk doesn't outweigh the reward kind of thing.
That was K-State Fisheries and Aquatics Extension Specialist Joe Gerken on how dams are beneficial for eels and other fish when it comes to controlling invasive species. He encourages people to spend time outside because you never know what can be found, like an American eel. I'm Shelby Varner, and this has been Agriculture Today over the K-State Radio Network.
Third Road Ag Sales have Concept by Agritech. Innovative technology and proven products improve soil health, increase yields, and allow greater return on your investments. See the difference for yourself with a call today to Third Road Ag. Hey producers, remember they offer American Family Net Wrap and can fill your needs today. Check out Third Road Ag Sales on Facebook.
Good Thursday afternoon. I'm your farm broadcaster, Sid Speck, with your latest market information right here on the Mid-America Ag Network. Well, the day of two-sided trade in livestock continues on, and it's looking more negative as we inch closer towards the closing bell. June live cattle still up 62 cents at 193.55. But August and beyond, all lower. It's been an active day today. August live cattle down 55 to 186.20. Triple-digit losses for the feeders. August feeder cattle down $1.22, down to $260.55 per hundredweight. September down 112 at 261.35. And still weakness in the hogs. July lean hogs down 65 at 89.25. August down 77 at 88.20. Taking a stroll through the grains now, it's still a big day in the wheat market as Chicago, Spring, Kansas City wheat are all higher. July Kansas City wheat up 11 3/4 to 591 3/4. September to 595. That's 10.5 cents higher. Oats are also higher. July oats up 1.5 to 296. Choppy two-sided trade in corn. The later months are higher, but July and September are down. July corn down 3 3/4 at 416 1/4. September down 1.5 at 424 1/4 cent. Soybeans also with some weakness. July beans down 5.5 at 11.57 1/4. August down 4 1/4 at 11.38. Now the meal is higher. July soy meal up 190 to 362.90. However, soy oil still weaker. July down 47 points at 42.98. Cotton's also down. July cotton down 105 to 74.30. Now, if we take a stroll down Wall Street, we're still seeing middle movement as traders are awaiting the key inflation data. Dow is up 112 at 39,238. S&P is hardly changed at 5 points at 5,483, and the NASDAQ up slightly, up 56 at 17,561. A look into the energy markets. Crude oil still up 52 cents a barrel at 81.41. Unleaded gas drops a penny down to 2.53 a gallon. Heating oil is unchanged at 2.54, and natural gas down 3 at 2.71. We see August gold up 23.50 to 23.3670. July silver's down a penny at 28.91 per ounce, and the dollar index still 16 points weaker at 105.55.
We want to see ya in your perfect ride. We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
Hey guys, it's Morgan, and I'm here to tell you if you're in the market for a new vehicle, Midwest Kia is the place to be. We'll be celebrating the Kia Summer Sales event all month long. To get into the summer spirit, Midwest Kia is announcing the 100K giveaway. We will discount every new car on the lot for a total of $100,000 in discounts. These discounts can be combined with all rebates and incentives, including new Kias that are marked with a summer sticker and extra discounts up to $1,500. Our team will be celebrating the summer sticker sales event each week with a new theme and the goal of moving our entire new car inventory this month. Remember, every new Kia comes with the industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty and our simple, transparent, and fast car buying experience. Come celebrate the Kia Summer Sticker Sales event with the 100K giveaway all month long at Midwest Kia and see why people are singing.
We want to see ya in a Midwest Kia.
Hop in, let's go to Honeyman Ford in Seneca, the best place to be.
Skip the drive. Come see us right here in Marysville, Kansas. At Honeyman Auto Sales and Service, you'll find the same honest sales experience backed by the same reliable service. With the same goals in mind, our Marysville location is sure to provide you with a satisfying vehicle experience. Find us on Facebook or stop in at 1122 Pony Express Highway today.
Have you driven a Honeyman Ford lately?
From ABC News, Wall Street now. Stocks saw little movement this morning as investors await key inflation data due out tomorrow. Going into the midday, the Dow Jones was ahead 41 points, but the S&P and NASDAQ composite had each given up 0.16% of their value on the day. Walgreens blames inflation for squeezing its customers and cutting into its quarterly earnings. CEO Tim Wentworth says hundreds of Walgreens' 8,600 stores are unprofitable. He says about 26% may have to be closed. Home sales hit by high prices and high interest rates are in a slump. The Commerce Department says sales of new homes in May dropped more than 11% to a 6-month low. The supply of newly built homes rose to a 16-year high. Levi Strauss has fallen just short of expectations with second quarter revenues of $1.44 billion. Strong sales of women's clothing, especially denim dresses, tops, and skirts, were offset by a downturn in Levi's Dockers lineup. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
If you're mechanically inclined and like working with your hands, like seeing a finished product, Landau in Marysville is looking for you. Currently hiring welders, assembly, paint, material handlers, fabrication, maintenance, and over-the-road drivers. Competitive wages, $2 per hour shift differential, 4% attendance bonus based on your gross weekly wage, excellent benefits package including comprehensive health and life insurance, paid time off and holidays, gas allowance to drive to work, and profit sharing. Apply online at Landau.com today or phone 785-562-5381. EEO Vets and Disability, welcome.
A classic country library so big, we had to put it on 2 stations, 1570 and 94.1 FM KNDY and K231AX Marysville.